Hello there, this is Dave Motohead, and I'm going 100,000 miles an hour right now in a wind tunnel. No, not really. I'm just sitting in front of the swamp cooler. Let me turn it off. Well, this is Dave Motohead, and this is my super secret, top secret clean room parts layer. It's filled with all kinds of various General Motors Corvair parts and top secret things that I don't want anybody to see. That's why I'm filming from inside this room, so you won't know where it's at. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about motor mount abuse. A lot of people say, oh, you want to jack your Corvair up? Just stick a jack under the transaxle and jack it up. Well, you're going to do just that. You're going to jack it up, and let me show you why. Anyway, let me put on the hat cam so we can get a good view here. Okay, hat cam all in place. Well, let me shed a little bit of light on the subject. This is Motohead's secret lair. This is where the magic happens. The magic happens in this room. I've just got all kinds of car parts and various odds and ends in here, and you know, there's just stuff everywhere. And I build motors right on this bench. I put the case halves and take, mic cranks and do all my stuff right here. And I got some really cool old tools. This is like an old bore gauge that's probably totally outdated. And then I've got the smaller bore gauge, which is slightly less outdated. And anyway, various tools. But what I wanted to talk to you about is motor mount abuse. It's a heart-sickening problem that, should never be overlooked. This is a front motor mount. This is a front late model motor mount. And if you see here, this bolts into the car, into the cross member. And then the cross member that bolts to the transmission, at the front of the transmission support, bolts onto the stud here. And it sits up in the car like that, and it hangs there. And if you look at it, it's got a fail-safe on top. Much like the rear motor mounts have a fail-safe, this has a fail-safe as well. And when it's bolted in the car and it's bolted on the cross member, there's two of these, one on each side, and there's a piece going between that the transmission bolts through, and it hangs off this part. And this piece of steel here keeps it from falling through, keeps your motor so it doesn't fall out of the car. Well, if you look at this motor mount, it does not have any kind of steel fail-safe going the other way. It just has the transmission mount bolted to the front of it. And what happens is, if you look at this part, it's designed to support the motor in the car. You've got your car and you've got your motor hanging in the car. And the motor rocks like this, and it's got the two supports in the front and the one support in the back, and it hangs there. And this motor mount is designed to support, the 500 or 600 pounds that the engine weighs. Well, what happens is when you jack up on the transaxle, it pushes this little post up, and it tears all the rubber in here. Because normally when this is hanging in the car, this is squished down, and this plate and this piece of rubber is squished down, and it's holding the 500-pound motor and power pack in there, and it squishes it all on there, and it's hanging on this that's rubber mounted. But when you put a jack under there, suddenly you're jacking up, you're pushing this post up through the motor mount, ripping all the rubber in there, and the motor mount is designed to hold up your 600-pound power pack that's hanging from it. All of a sudden, you're pushing up on it, and it's supporting the weight of 2,000-pound car, 2,600-pound car, and it's it just destroys these things. So, like a lot of people have said, never jack your car up by sticking a jack underneath the transaxle, because it just wrecks these motor mounts. And yeah, you'll jack it up, but you'll also jack these up, and then you'll be buying new ones and have to replace it, and that's no fun at all. Anyways, so that's why you don't jack those things up. Anyway, this is some parts that I'm micing out here for an engine I'm building, and I'm sure some of you probably know what these little holes are for. And this is a kind of a custom Corvair rod here. Anyways, that's why you should never jack your Corvair up with a transaxle, because you'll jack it up, but you'll also jack it up. Anyways, thanks for watching once again. This is from Dave Motorhead's Secret Parts Lair. Thanks for watching.